There are so many things that we can do to help ourselves have a better existence. Now, I'm going to string these together into a 6-week challenge between Monday and Christmas Day. Some of you have already messaged me to say you're going to get involved with this with me, and I'm super pleased. However, some of you might not have the opportunity to do that. So what I thought I'd do in this video is break it down into the smaller sections, and you can take little bits of it. It might be the exercise, it might be more to do with nutrition and blood sugar, and it might be to do with the life hack, mental health side of things. And we're going to go through those in this video right now.
First run in 5 weeks done, loved it. Treadmill, weather's horrendous outside, don't know what it's like where you are. If you're doing this with me and you're doing couch to 5k, most of them run for longer than 6 weeks. As of Monday, we've got 6 weeks, so you've got a few options. You can do what I've just done, which is to do a few of them now. I'm going to try and get week 1 of the one that I'm doing, which is 8 weeks, done in the next 3 days leading up to Monday. Then I'll probably skip a week and then get straight into week 3 so that I'm done by Christmas. The other option you've got, just let it run over Christmas. Whatever you do, just make sure you get it run. Core workout next. So the core routine is really straightforward. It's broken into 2 halves really, one focusing on the abs, the second half focusing on the glutes. The first bit is a little twist on the original 8-minute abs video. If any of you remember that from 1995, Jamie Brenkhouse made $20 million off this video. A little bit of a twist on that, and then we move on to the glutes, doing some simple glute bridges and some leg raises. Works out to be about 18 minutes, do it every single day. The way I do it is I tend to do it as immediately I come back from my commute, or before or after I go for my run. I use it sometimes before the run as an activation. If I do that, I end up doing couch to 5k, 30 minutes, 20-minute ab workout, 30 minutes on the weights, about an hour and a half, job done, hit everything in one go. I'll post a full workout video for this that you can follow along. If you do want to follow along on this on your own, then I will put a full list of the timings and what the exercise is in the description of that video when it comes out before Monday. I also use this timer app to get me through all the rest and recovery and guide me through, and again, I'll put all the timings for that in the video. That core workout, seriously important for injury prevention. Right, weights. We're going to do 3 workouts a week, around about 30 minutes. I'm going to post in a playlist some videos from other people, but you can do your own. Again, you can use a timer. What I usually do is break it down into arms, back and chest and legs day, or you can do arms, back and chest. And the way I tend to do it is I'll do it in sets of 3. I'll do 45 seconds on and 15 seconds off. You can use that same timer I use for my core workout. I tend to use resistance bands, kettlebells and dumbbells, and that is it. And I don't tend to use overly heavy weights. I don't want to end up like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just want to build lean muscle mass. The reason for building this muscle mass at this age is it gets harder and harder to build it as you get older. In fact, inevitably, eventually we start to lose it. Now, if I start up here and I end up down here, I'm more likely to be able to carry our luggage when we're going to Barcelona when I'm 82, or dance with my grandchildren at their wedding. Whereas if I start down here and lose this much muscle mass by the time I'm 80, I'm going to struggle to even get out of my chair or get up the stairs, which is the most important vital component of keeping some independence.
And finally, with exercise, we have a minimum of 4 hours of zone 2 training. Now, that's low intensity. If we don't know about our zones, then we can use something called RPE, which is rate of perceived exertion. And with that, we're looking at around about a point where our heart rate is elevated, but we're also able to still hold a conversation, depending on who it is you're with. For that, I'll be using my commutes into work and back, but you could use your Sunday ride with the club or possibly do some swimming. Mix it up a little bit. I'd say a minimum of an hour, ideally 90 minutes per session, or you can do it in one big 4-hour block, which is the ideal. I can't tell you how much commenting on a channel's video helps the channel grow. The algorithm likes to know that you're involved in it and you've taken something from it. So at this point in the video, if you've got something to say, drop a comment below. It will help me and the channel massively. And so first thing Monday morning, I will be doing a weigh-in. Now, it's up to you if you want to do that. It's entirely your choice. I will also be taking some pictures, which again, most definitely is your choice. I certainly wouldn't suggest you're going to do what I intend to do with it, which is to be posting them on these videos to see if there's any kind of level of transformation taking place. But that is my starting point, and one of my key metrics is going to be my weight. Now, let's have a look at blood glucose. I've explained in other videos that I've had blood tests that have shown that I've had pre-diabetic level blood glucose. Now, I'm going to do a fasted test again for the next 6 weeks every single morning, and this is how you can do yours. Ideally, we should be aiming for 5.6 millimoles or lower. Anything above that is considered to be pre-diabetic, and anything in the upper 6 points, 5, 6, 7, 8 is considered to be diabetic, and you need to get yourself to a doctor to get yourself checked out. Next, we have intermittent fasting. Now, I do 16-8 or maybe a little longer, 17-7. Essentially, I stop eating in the evening and then I don't eat around until lunchtime, which means I miss breakfast, which has always been a bit of a struggle for me anyway. It puts me in some sort of calorie deficit of 400 to 500 calories per day, which is ideal. And there are three main reasons for doing it for me. One is weight loss. Two is the fact that it improves my fat burning when I'm exercising, when I'm fasted. And thirdly, this idea of autophagy, which is where the dead and damaged cells get cleared from the system. Definitely something to have a look at, and definitely worth trying to use the app to track your fasting. What you do with those 8 hours of eating is entirely up to you. Obviously, ideally you'd be eating well and not too much snacking and not too much in the way of chocolate. If you are a bit of a chocolate fiend, do try and think about trying to eat some dark chocolate up in that kind of 70, 80, 85 range. F me. And if you have got a sweet tooth, I'd definitely recommend trying to eat some chocolates in the 70, 80, 85 range of cocoa. It's time to talk about protein. Now, it's not something I've spoken about much on the channel before, but it's about time we do. Most of us have heard of RDA, which is recommended dietary allowance. It's the amount of minerals, vitamins, whatever it might be, that we need to have to ensure that we don't have a deficit in our system. What people are less familiar with is this idea of ODA, which is optimal dietary allowance. To understand the concept of ODA, let's look at what the UK and US health authorities suggest would be the recommended dietary allowance for protein for an adult male such as myself, which is 0.75 grams to 0.85 grams per kilo of body weight. Now, for myself, that would be around about 80 grams of protein a day. However, the issue here is that is what I need to maintain the muscle that I have currently and not lose muscle at the age of 46. But as we looked at earlier with the weight training is I want to put on muscle, which means I need to consume more. Now, Peter Attia has done research into this and suggests that we need to be nearer 2 grams per kilo. Now, for myself, that's 180 grams of protein a day, which is really difficult to consume that quantity in food. So I use a couple of whey isolate protein shakes a day just to up it into that upper realm. I also consume a little bit of cottage cheese and leave the rest of it to my dietary intake. As I've said before, what I'm trying to do is put bulk on so that if I can get myself up to this point here at my age now, it means I'll be here when I'm in my 80s as opposed to being down here and being in trouble when I get to my 80s. Basically, I just want to be fit, mobile, active and stable when I'm older, which means I've got to put on more muscle mass, lean muscle mass, which means I've got to up my protein. This is a huge subject, but in a nutshell, not enough adults of my age are consuming enough protein to make sure that there isn't an issue when they're older. It's not just about being muscly and looking like Mr. Universe, it's about being mobile and stable when I'm older, which results in me being able to go to the shops. It means I'm going to be able to socialise, it means I'm going to be able to spin Becky around on the dance floor well into our 80s and basically enjoy my life as opposed to suffering as I get older.
Oh, good girl. Sit. Good girl.
And finally, we had this idea of life hacks or mental health stuff. Now, I have done a longer video on this, which is up here, which I'd recommend, but very briefly, I'm going to talk you through some of the things that I think you should be doing. There are 3 of them. The first of which is leaving your phone downstairs to charge at night. It means when you wake up in the morning, you're not immediately reaching for your mobile, starting to scroll through Instagram, checking your emails and everything else. It means you have a gradual introduction to the day. This is how you do it. Most of you will use your phones as alarm clocks, so buy a specific alarm clock. I like this one because it's dark until you tap it or you make a noise. Plus, it has a temperature sensor on it too, which is an important sleep factor. And then you move your phone charger downstairs. Phone notifications are a nightmare. Have a word with your family and agree on the key methods of communication. I have the notifications on for these and these only. So then scroll through your apps and make a note of all the ones that have notification red numbers on them. Red warning, stress equals anxiety. Go to settings, scroll to notifications, find the app on your list, switch off the notifications, and then you can look at them when you want to. You are in control, not the phone. And in a similar way, create friction with apps that you spend too much time on. Group apps together, socials, work apps, etc., and create a folder and put them all in it. The extra step, along with the notifications, means you'll reduce the amount of times you open them. Okay, that's it. We're almost ready to go. The last thing I need to do is to upload the core workout, which will be coming up tomorrow, and then we get ready for Monday. If you're doing bits of this, good luck with it. Again, leave me some comments below. Let me know what you're planning on doing or anything that you got from these videos. Commenting and hitting the like button helps this channel massively. If you're not subscribed, hit the notifications bell, keep an eye out for the other videos, and I will see you very, very soon. Look after yourselves.